All right, let's get into their, I guess, their smart idea, how they think they're going to bypass sulfur run to, I guess, to keep it from flowing past the contaminated railroad, because this is a side of the railroad they didn't dig up yet. And this is the one that would be closest to that stream, creek, waterway running beside the tracks. So this is what they decided. This is a drone overview of basically their bypass system, I guess you could say. Now, as we get to this wetland area, the swamp, whatever you want to call it, let me remind you, this is the same swamp. A couple days after they did the explosion and stuff, this looks pretty contaminated to me, don't you? You tell me they got all this out of there? I don't think they did. But hey, it looks like we're trying to do something. It's like one big mess to me, but I mean, it's just like stuff laying everywhere. So we're gonna bypass Sulphur Run. We're gonna run this wetland into. That don't look too healthy right there. Into this lake, this little miniature lake, and then we're just gonna suck it out and pump it. Uh, we got all them hoses from the fire department. They got new ones. They didn't need them anymore. It just seems like a whole lot of work for nothing, but if they think it's working, then but the creeks are contaminated like hell. I'm interested if that wetland's still contaminated. I'm gonna have to take a walk back there and check it out, because that picture, it was severely contaminated. So this is their piping. They ran. This is where Sulphur Run normally runs. You can see there's still some water in it. There's their big blue tanks that they put in, and they hope don't spring a leak when they're empty today. This seems like this is a whole lot of work for nothing, but. And then we're just going to discharge the water right there. right back into a contaminated creek. Oh, okay. That was posted 6 days ago, so I think it's a whole lot of just showboating. If you're pumping the water into a contaminated creek, it really don't matter, because it's already contaminated. So I don't know, whatever. Makes them feel better. Let's see here, man. We have a phony charity for East Palestine donations. Damn, that's one of freaking 50 out there probably. This one allegedly pocketed, I should say, a good amount of money. This is Ohio Clean Water Fund. It was supposed to be a nonprofit organization acting on behalf of Second Harvest Food Bank of Mahoning Valley to provide East Palestine residents with emergency aid and bottled water following the train derailment. The Attorney General in Ohio said that Papel, I believe it's not like Papew. You guys remember what cartoon that's from? They said that he allegedly pocketed $131,000 of the roughly $141,000 raised from 3,000 donors. You guys know some of the what I used to cover in the past. A lot of some of you guys. This sounds like some restoration movement stuff. Let's see here. WKBN spoke to Second Harvest Food Bank in a report that was published earlier this month. Director Mike Beers said the Clean Ohio Water Fund claimed to have a partnership with Second Harvest Food Bank, but didn't. He questioned where the rest of the money raised went after receiving just a $10,000 check from Clean Ohio Water Fund. So, $10,000. Where is the? Oh, they had where's the breakdown? I thought there was a. There it is. Okay, this is his breakdown, and this seems suspect as crap. Let's see here. The agency fees total up to $14,118. Okay, the data prospecting fees added up to $91,769. So at this point, about $35,000 net was raised after fees were taken out, he stated. So it seems like some kind of book covering scheme going on there. Freaking data processing fees for almost $100,000. Holy cow. Case is scheduled for April 20th at 1. So it's one of many fraud, East Palestine donation things going on out there. This one just got involved a hefty, decent amount. Let's see here. The work on the first tracks is almost complete. Now, I find this interesting because the longer this goes on, the more information comes out. This is what I find interesting. It's been 71 days since an overheated wheel bearing caused the number 3 and number 38 cars of Norfolk Southern train carrying hazardous materials to derail in East Palestine. Okay, so now we're to car number 3 that had an overheated wheel bearing. We had a car number 38 that has an overheated wheel bearing. What happened to car number 23 that the NTSB and stuff originally stated that had overheating wheel bearing? So now we got 3 cars? I just don't get. I had a picture of the axles. I don't have it right now. NTSB released a picture of the supposed axle that overheated, which would be correct if it came from car number 38 now. Before this was released on the 15th, so before that, it was released before that. Car number 23 wasn't even in a derailment pile. You couldn't even see it in the photos, like the aerial photos. So if car number 23 caused a derailment, then it was still connected to the train, and it wasn't in the pile because you had 23 and 24 and 25 and 26 were all polyvinyl pellets. You can see 25 and 26 burning. 23 and 24 is not even in the picture, so it was still connected. So, now we got number 3 and we got number 38. And how many overheated wheel bearings do we have on the damn thing? I just find it interesting. They can't keep the story straight, obviously. Let's see here. Railroad officials are hopeful that it will take a few more. It's just take a few more to complete work on the south track and begin working on the northbound side as a complete restoration of the crash site inches closer to the halfway mark. Once the permanent track is installed and settled to the railroad satisfaction, work will begin on track 2. Now, this is kind of interesting. Both tracks will be briefly opened to traffic as part of the settlement process, and then remediation and restoration will continue. So they're going to open both tracks back up again, so they can flow more cargo. I'm sure they're getting backed up with only one track running through here. So they're going to open both up, for a while, and, we'll just let the trains go through there, and then we'll just start on track number 2 whenever. Once the settlement happens, we're going to shift our rail traffic to the south side. Then we are going to start work on the north side. Hunziker said it took several weeks to do the south side. We expect to repeat that on the north side, but the tracks are just one part of the process. We have property that was affected on either side of the tracks. We're looking for a couple of months still before all that work is done. So what we last heard was mid-June now, is what they're aiming for. I'm sure that'll get pushed back even further. Hunziker is hoping that solving the setbacks which impeded progress on the first track would expedite work on the second. The biggest challenge was disposing of toxic waste material. You can't keep it in the damn trucks, can you? Did you clean that up okay? EPA said it was all clean. Removal efforts were hindered in March when officials of the states where licensed disposal facilities were located began turning away from shipments of the derailment waste. Now, this is funny. Oklahoma, Texas, and Michigan all initially refused to accept the shipments before the federal EPA stepped in and ordered them to do so under the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liability Act, commonly known as Superfund. So the EPA stepped in and demanded and ordered them to take this waste because nobody wants to stick crap in their state because they don't know what's in it. This is even funnier. Where the soil goes is determined by what the soil is contaminated with. At the site, the dirt is placed in designated piles. Certain piles are shipped out to certain disposal facilities based on certain criteria. Do you think they test every freaking bucket full or at least section of dirt they take out of there and stick it in the right pile? I don't think they do, but it sounds good. How we manage the soil piles is very specific because we need to know what's in each different pile, and that is based on where it is, where it was generated, and also the constituents in it. So we are doing an analytic, and one pile may have different concentration of materials. Hunziker said one facility may be able to handle a certain level, and others may be able to handle it at a different way. So we keep those apart to make sure that they go to the right facilities for proper disposal. We've done that because that helps keep the project moving as fast as possible. Like I said, I don't believe they test every freaking section of soil, and group it by what contaminants are in it. It's all contaminated. Anyways, let's see here. Hunsaker estimated that 24,000 tons of the contaminated soil has been removed, with 24 more thousand tons to go from underneath the east northbound track. So, I mean, they're guessing it's going to be the same amount, but you get the stream on that side. So, the railroad began digging up contaminated dirt from the track from under track 1 on February 22nd, after the railroad's decision to lay down old track on contaminated soil was criticized. Norfolk Southern insists the railroad was only following remediation plans used before, and the situation is similar to the derailment, and those plans were approved by the EPA. Deborah Shore, now, she just came out and spoke out about how it was wrong, and Norfolk Southern was saying she approved the plan. She's the administrator of Region 5. Contradicted that approval was granted, calling the decision a second assault of the people East Palestine. The railroad claims they made the call to dig up the old soil and tracks and have excavated ground tested after hearing from the public. Shore said it was an urging of the EPA. See, this, Norfolk Southern dug up the railroad tracks because the public wanted it. So if nobody said nothing about it, you're just going to leave the crap there. Try to keep it clean. Can you leave the poo there? I don't believe that. Let's see here. We dig an X amount of feet into the soil, and that depth is determined by where the incident was and how things were released. How the heck, they have this detailed place on where everything was released. When did you release it? I'd really like to, help you out with it a little bit here. Yeah, you guys wait for my video coming out. I might be able to, help you. We clean to our standards. We do our testing, which gets approved, and if the agency agree with us, then we can move forward. After we know what is clean, the area is segregated, and then we can start restoration afterwards. You have the railroad doing its own testing. The person that caused the accident is also testing. Don't make no sense. We still have our plans in place, and we're still working with regulators to manage the creeks. We are not done yet. We've seen good results and positive results in the creeks, but we have not reached a point where we are calling them clean. There are a lot of activities that we still need to do and self-run here in town and creeks downstream. Well, I agree, because I don't know if you're, good positive results in the creek. I don't know if you're looking at the same creek that I've seen many times and seen videos of many times of the stuff just spewing out everywhere. Yeah, you still have some work to do. I guess you're just hoping it all goes downstream and you don't have to worry about it no more. We're just kind of a waiting game, I guess. The mainstream media really isn't here anymore, so there really is no need to make it look like we're doing something. So we're just hoping it all washes basically down to the Mississippi eventually, and then we'll call it clean, and we won't have to deal with it. That's basically where we're at, over 2 months, 2.5 months. So we've been trying to keep our shifts to normal day as much as possible. We want to affect the community. Okay. People don't want to hear trucks at night or generators or things like that. So when and where we can, we have been reducing that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I hear generators all night. I used to all night long. When you're aerating. We do have some operations that need to go 24 hours. If we have a significant rain event, then we have to have our manpower hours to keep the streams protected. You ain't worried about keeping the streams protected. They're already polluted. We are very happy how things are moving along. There have been a lot of lessons learned. We have been evaluating our progress and evaluating how we can do better in the next set of tracks. Hunsaker said, based on what we learned from process, we're hoping we can gain some efficiency, but this has been a weeks-long effort working together with the community and regulatory agencies. We are proud of the progress we made so far. Yeah, you're proud of, because you get another track open finally back up again. You can run 2 tracks for a while and run more cargo. Yes, Hunziker. Great speech. Did you read that, or I don't think you came up with that yourself? Mr. Shaw, I give that to you. Just wondering. So they're gonna have boat trucks going for a little bit just to kind of get things settled in. Hell, the train's been running on the other side, just squashing that damn, pollution and contamination everywhere. Every time a train goes over it, it kind of, the weight of it pushes it down. So, it's just been pushing the stuff everywhere. So, why not? Let's squeeze a little bit more out of the soil before we dig it up, because then we can say it's clean. This is from Status Quo. I'm not going to play it because they put it out. It's their story. But anyways, CDC urging doctors not to test East Palestine residents for cancer-causing vinyl chloride. Residents are testing positive anyways. We've had so many positive tests for vinyl chloride within the past 2 months, ever since into February, March, April. But the officials say that vinyl chloride is supposed to metabolize and be out of your body pretty fast. But if these people are still testing positive for vinyl chloride over 2 months later, then they're still being exposed to vinyl chloride. So that means it's still, somewhere in the environment. We really, CDC really has no answer for that. Their people got sick. They pulled their people out because their people got sick just going door to door. They weren't even by the derailment, which I could see if they were by the derailment. Okay, they were closer to the chemicals. Maybe they were exposed more. They're going freaking door to door, and they're getting sick. We've heard many people complaining about headaches, rashes. It just goes on, and it seems to be they still don't have no answer for any of these people, which I think it's crap. It shouldn't have took 2 months for a clinic to open in town, which I have to say allegedly, or maybe they don't test for stuff like that. I don't know anybody's been to it yet, but I can't say for sure. But it shouldn't have been 2 months for that to go in town. That's just ridiculous. That should have been done within the first month, within the first 2 weeks. Not their little clinic where you just go in and give them your symptoms and they put you on a survey, and then they would just release the survey results and saying, this many people have, a runny nose, this many people have anxiety. Well, no crap, you're going to have anxiety. It's an anxiety situation. I don't know why you put that on a list. Unless the next one down was like bloody noses, and you didn't want that on your list, and you were like, "Oh, we can't put that on there. We're just going to add anxiety." So they're saying there is a there was a specific time for them to test for vinyl chloride. There's nothing to test for. There's a certain time frame they're telling us that it has to be done. A worker at Mercy Health in East Palestine. I wonder if that's a clinic then. Maybe this person's been to the clinic. I don't know. I probably should have read. I listened to these, but I didn't know this was the clinic. This is Mercy Health in East Palestine, unless it's a doctor's office, maybe. I don't know. This was on April 5th. He went in seeking a script from his doctor to get his urine tested for vinyl chloride. So they're saying that, you're not exposed to vinyl chloride anymore. You're past that, like I say, initial, burn. So they're saying there's nothing to test for. But yet, even if you pay for it out of your pocket, they don't want to test for it. Because, the labs don't want to test for that certain stuff. The more it comes out, the more and more it screams cover up. we've heard them refusing to test for certain things, the labs. So, this isn't surprising at all. Not one bit. It's finally coming out. Okay, that's her thing. Okay. I think it's big. Oh, I got about half an hour. Okay, we're about done. So no big surprise. People's testing positive for stuff, and we still want to have answers why, certain people have certain issues, which, we kind of get a good, reasoning wise, but it's safe. There's nothing wrong with the water. Well, maybe, drinking water might be safe. I don't think it had time to get there. They say within a year. If it's going to go there, it'll happen within a year. I don't know about, maybe that's the town. Other wells, I can't say. So, the soil's safe. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not breathing anything in. Your house is safe. Us digging all this crap up isn't putting nothing in the air. It's just a bunch of stories. So, I guess the EPA, the U.S. EPA, Mark Durno, and he must be back from Indiana. I'm sure he was out there telling them people everything was okay too. Why they had that massive plastic fire and asbestos just flying everywhere, and it's in flakes of it's in people's yards. I'm sure he was telling them it was okay too. I'm sure he was sent out there. He seems to be the person sent to all these, because he was also at up in Michigan too. So they're having a thing. I don't know how many sessions, it don't say. A program of sessions. This is the soil sampling program. This is from Thursday, April 20th, from 6 to 7. I'll be there. I'll stream it. I'll listen to what they have to say. I may have questions, or people may have questions. But they're putting a series on. Yay for them. But does this necessarily say that we still trust your testing results? Anyways, so I will be covering that on Thursday. Wednesday is a webinar, the policy, action, and East Palestine and beyond. This is an online event by River Valley Organizing. This is at 6:30. I will be also doing this too. Let's see here. What's it about? Join our Reroute Institute and partners as we discuss ongoing crisis. Let's see here. Pittsburgh City Council, River Valley Institute, River Valley Organizing, some researchers. So it's basically like their panel thing they have, and some of them are some of them speakers that put some interesting stuff out. So this will be Wednesday. I get the EPA Thursday. Oh, I see. We got the Spring Fling Bingo with Queens on Saturday. Hookstown? Damn, I didn't think that even. Anyways, I thought that was only like Pittsburgh stuff. We got it going in the Hookstown. So I'll be streaming that. Not the Spring Fling. These two events. I'll cover them. Other than that, like I said, this is the only two things set in stone right now. I'm sure more stuff will pop up eventually. It always does. other than that, I'll get that train card video thrown together. I said I think I get everything I could possibly find on it. I'll get that out. Like I said, people's been asking about that. You know that I think that's it. Like I said, there ain't really much, much different. That we're still soaking the chemicals here in East Palestine. Just soaking it up, soaking it up, soaking it up. Why not? All right, guys, I'm gonna end this. I'll go live again when something interesting comes up. Other than that, like I said, there really much hasn't changed. I mean, it's still polluted. The water's still the same. They haven't really. The only thing that's interesting is they're going to open both tracks up again for a little bit, and then close out the track to dig it up, and then their makeshift water reroute, I guess you want to call it, through contaminated wetlands. We're taking the water out of there and we're just shoving it downstream. I don't get the point, but it looks good. All right, guys. I will catch you guys later.